Zamfara communities gripped by fear amid looming lead poisoning pandemic. Compensation demanded by family of man fatally shot by police stray bullets during protests in Niger State. Kano anti-corruption crackdown on warehouses busted for stockpiling grains, noodles and sugar. Away from Nigeria, world leaders warn of catastrophe as Israel plans Rafah invasion. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. Residents of Zamfara communities affected by lead poisoning in 2010 have expressed fears over a looming danger of another round of the pandemic. The residents allege that the recent partial and temporary evacuation of the international medical staff of the Medicine Sans Frontiers is causing a serious setback to them. The MSF, also known as Doctors Without Borders, has reduced its healthcare service in Anka and Zurmi local government areas of the state and relocated its medical staff to Talata Marafa local government area due to increased insecurity in the state. In this special report, Yusha Wadamu examines the situation.
Although the suspension of MSF healthcare services was temporary, however, many residents in Anka and Bukuim local governments are expressing fears over impending dangers of lead poisoning outbreak. According to the residents, the partial withdrawal of healthcare services by the MSF is gradually confounding the situations since mining activities are being carried out in several villages in the two local governments. The residents, therefore, call on both federal and state governments to take urgent and proactive measures in order to avert reoccurrence of the 2010 lead poisoning pandemic in the state. During the 2010 lead poisoning pandemic, several women in the Bayega village have given birth to babies with deformities such as blindness, paralysis, acute malnutrition, and learning disability, while adults have experienced poor vision and severe fever. We are afraid that with recent evacuation of MSF staff from some facilities, there is possibility of an upsurge of lead poisoning in our communities. We therefore want the government to take urgent steps that will prevent the upsurge of the deadly disease. The dark memory of lead poisoning that started in 2008, which caused the death of many children in Zamfara state, is still fresh in the memories of the affected residents. Lead poisoning started in these communities in 2008 when residents resorted to illegal mining in their personal homes, not minding or ignorant of the dangers associated with mining. According to reports, the negative impact of the lead poisoning became more pronounced in Zamfara between March and June 2010, after it claimed the lives of 163 people in the state, including 111 children. Despite the 2010 lead poisoning experience, currently there are about 20 local mining processing plants operating in Bagega village and 12 others in Abari, in Anka local government, and over 10 sites spread across Ergalma, Nasarawa, and Bukuyum in Bukuyum local government area of the state. Mining is the only business that is bringing money to us. All our animals have been rustled. We don't have anything at home. So this is the only source of incomes we have for now. I have been in this business for the past 15 years, but unfortunately, wherever we go for mining, the authorities are chasing us away. We want government to come to our aid by providing us with permanent sites where we can do mining. Residents of several communities in Anka, Bukuyum, and Maru local governments are still in mining activities. This is happening 12 years after the MSF handed over its lead poisoning project to Zamfara state government. According to some local miners, although they are aware of the hazards allied to mining, however, they cannot quit the business because it is a second source of incomes to many residents after farming. Ahmed Aliyu, a resident of Maru, has been into local mining for 25 years, aware of the hazards associated to mining, but we don't have any option than to go into it. without any protection because we don't have access to the protection facilities and the government is not providing us with them. Mining is our second source of incomes after farming. We have no any other source of incomes apart from this local mining. So, with or without protection against its hazard, we have to do it to feed our families. And any attempt to stop us from this menial job, that could lead to more economic hardship on us. Following an increase in the activities of mining in some parts of the state, it was alleged that symptoms of diseases related to lead poisoning have started manifesting in some communities. Reports had it that cases of poor vision among local miners, children malnutrition, and cases of miscarriage among women have started manifesting in some communities in Anka local government. Cases of poor vision are being experienced especially among the local miners. You know, we are blessed with huge mineral resources and our people are into mining and they are doing it without taking any preventive measures against any hazard. So this may pave way for the return of the popular disease we call Gubardalma if care is not taken. Although we are not medical experts, but based on our past experiences, we know that the symptoms that are manifesting on some individuals are similar to that of lead poisoning. However, in its efforts to control mining activities in the state, Zamfara state government has banned traditional rulers from issuing consent letters for mining across the state. According to a statement issued by Governor's spokesperson Suleiman Bala Idris, the state governor has signed an executive order in that respect. The banning, the statement added, affects issuing consent letters to individuals, companies, or organizations for mining activities in the state. The decision, the governor said, was taken as mining was identified to be among the major factors fueling banditry in the state. Yushau Adamu, Trust TV News, Gusau.
Thank you, Yushau Adamu, for that report. Now, the family of Aminu Ahmadu, a scrap parts dealer killed by a stray bullet during a protest in Mina, Niger State, is demanding compensation from the Niger State government and police authorities. The protest, organized by residents over hardship and rising living costs, turned violent when police attempted to disperse the crowd with gunshots and tear gas. Aminu was fatally struck by a stray bullet, and despite his family's efforts to seek medical help, they were unable to due to the heavy police presence. His younger brother, Sani Ahmadu, described Aminu as a pillar of the family. The Niger State Police Command stated that they used minimum force to disperse violent protesters who attacked them with dangerous weapons. Meanwhile, the Niger State government has apologized for the arrest of protesters and ordered their release from police custody. The Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission conducted a surprise raid on Sunday, sealing 5 warehouses in Dawanu, Dawakintofa local government area, suspected of hoarding essential food commodities. Led by Chairman Barrister Muhuyi Magaji Rimingado, the operation caught warehouse owners off guard. One warehouse belonging to Hamir Investment was found packed with thousands of cartons of noodles and sugar. The commission forced open its doors and promptly sealed it, instructing owners to provide all necessary purchase and pricing documents at the commission office. However, warehouses stocked with soybeans, sesame, wheat bran, and okra seeds were spared from closure. Another large warehouse stocked with guinea corn was sealed, belonging to Rigasa Trading Company. Its owners, Muhammad Ahmed, explained to the PCACC chairman that they were not hoarding but were contracted by the United Nations to supply food to insurgency-ravaged states of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. Despite this, they suffered losses exceeding 300 million naira due to price fluctuations. Remingado requested Ahmed to provide all relevant documents to justify the warehouse's reopening. He underscored that the agency's actions were based on intelligence reports reaffirming their determination to combat hoarding of essential commodities. Additionally, Remy Ngado engaged with prominent essential commodities wholesalers at Singa Market to discuss strategies moving forward. The Commission had previously issued a warning last Thursday threatening to raid warehouses, contributing to the surge in food prices in the state.
We were able to stop the instant increase. That is number one. That is a major landmark achievement. Number two, we have believed that if we sustain the tempo, we will be able to bring down the prices, inshallah, within no time. So as you can see now, we have gone around the warehouses. We meet series of issues, which after we go back to the office, we are going to digest it. But one fundamental thing is, virtually each and every store we entered, they will be claiming that it is a World Food Program stores. We wonder if a World Food Program will starve the country while taking the food somewhere else. You can see where I was told here today, within 1 month, the price of maize has jumped from 30,000 to 60,000. So you see 100% increase. This is totally unacceptable. And you can see these stores. We have uncountable number of other essential commodities, which we are taking over the stores now, and we are going to make some certain arrests because this will not be tolerated. This is not a market, this is a warehouse, and we have them in abundance in this town. As I told you, we have activated our intelligence mechanism, and they have come off with a very strong intelligence on where and how they are holding it.
Meanwhile, hoarders are facing accusations of causing both high prices and scarcity of foodstuffs in Taraba State, according to a recent report. Residents interviewed revealed that the inflated prices of grains in the markets are primarily driven by businessmen who engage in bulk purchases during harvest seasons and subsequently hoard these items. Many have highlighted the drastic price differences between the harvest period and the present, with maize and paddy rice being sold at nearly double the initial prices. The residents expressed concern over the continuous rise in foodstuff prices, stressing the urgent need for government's intervention to curb the activities of hoarders and stabilize prices. Lagosians have joined the number of states where there have been protests against high cost of living in the country. In Lagos, market women and youth protested in the Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State on Saturday. They carried placards with the inscriptions such as "Baba Tinubu, Nigerians are hungry," and "Tinubu, come and rescue us," among others. The protest is the latest in the series of protests which had been held in Kogi, Osun, Niger, and Kano states over the rising cost of living in the country. Since the removal of the petrol subsidy in May 2023, prices of commodities in the country have been going up. Residents of Imo State have blamed the security challenges bedeviling the state on bad governance, unemployment, and economic hardship, among others. The residents who decried the situation said if such challenges are not addressed, the fight against insecurity will only be an effort in futility. Trustee Praise Ajibadi has details of the story.
A cross-section of the residents who spoke to Trust TV posited that the current hardship in the country is a major factor contributing to the security challenges affecting the nation. Beyond the deployment of security personnel to combat criminal elements, the people are saying that the government should, as a matter of necessity, provide solution to the lingering unemployment and economic hardship.
Create jobs, possible companies and factories where these younger ones will be engaged, because when a young guy is busy doing something, the tendency of taking evil will not be there.
Insecurity starts from the stomach. When someone does not have something to eat, he begins to think on how to make up. You understand? On how to go to somebody's farm and steal, on how to go to pickpockets.
Others who spoke blamed political leaders whose activities, they said, aids and abate insecurity.
I will say that because of our leaders. They are because of insecurity. They are using it as a political fight and others. They know what they are doing.
Insecurity, I can say, is not properly managed. The challenges of insecurity has not been really properly managed by the government.
The police, on their part, have continued to interface with stakeholders in the state with a view to eradicate insecurity. The Commissioner of Police, Danjuma Aboki, says the command under his watch will not relent in their efforts to crush all criminal elements. Meanwhile, some stakeholders say the bad roads in some of the communities are equally a contributory factor to insecurity.
Now we have meeting between the host community, the Fulani community, the Hausa community, the Yoruba community, the university communities too, to how we're going to solve the security challenges. It was a fruitful discussion, and by His grace, we're going to flush out all the criminal elements in this community.
The problem here is the road, and we want to appeal to His Excellency, our Governor, to quickly expedite action to complete this road. That alone can reduce security threats to Iyagba and Emba Road 50%, while the rest can be handled by both the Commissioner and the synergy is trying to gather within the communities. And we are going to give him all our support individually and collectively.
While residents await favorable outcome of the situation, they are hopeful that government at all levels will approach the matter with a clearer and better understanding in order to bring lasting solution to the menace. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has apprehended a 42-year-old man allegedly transporting concealed opioid pills to an insurgents' enclave in the Banki area of Borno State. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi disclosed that this operation was part of a broader crackdown on drug trafficking, resulting in the seizure of over 7,609 kilograms of assorted illicit drugs across 8 states. In one significant operation in Nasarawa State, NDLEA operatives intercepted a truck transporting 367 bags of cannabis sativa weighing 4,037 kilograms from Akure, Ondo State, to be delivered at Shabu area of Lafia, the state capital. 3 suspects were arrested in connection with this seizure. In another operation in Abuja, NDLEA officials arrested Jibril Shuaibu, 23, and Prosper Ini, 17, with 169 bags and 80 blocks of compressed cannabis sativa weighing 1,961.5 kilograms concealed in a truck. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, commended the efforts of various NDLEA commands across the country and urged them to continue surpassing past feats in their efforts to combat drug supply and demand reduction.
This side. Who is there? Collect.
In rural communities, gender disparities persist, hindering the potential of women farmers who encounter various challenges. Rahima Dokaji in this report sheds light on the plight of 2 women in Kano who are local farmers facing significant obstacles despite their commitment to the industry. Their struggles include limited access to government interventions and a lack of transparency in agricultural support systems.
Government interventions such as the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund (ACGSF), Agricultural Credit Support Scheme (ACSS), Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme (CACS), and Anchor Borrowers Program, among others, aim to facilitate lending to farmers. According to data from the CBN, the ACGSF has facilitated more than 100 million loans valued at more than 122 billion to farmers across the country since its inception until March 2021. However, this progress often falls short of reaching women farmers, leading to a gender disparity in accessing vital support. Farmers like Hajiya Hawaya da Kwari Audu Kofar Arewa expressed their frustrations when accessing such interventions, shedding light on the flood distribution system and the additional cost imposed on farmers, recounting a seminar where women farmers were overlooked. Not long ago, we received a so-called free relief intervention, but we paid 17,800 naira at a POS machine at the place of distribution. And after we collected it, we were asked to pay an additional 600 naira to the people who unloaded the intervention products. We were given 2 sacks of fertilizer and 3 bottles of pesticide. This is the intervention we received directly from the government, and it is not for women only. Men were also given. Kama Hatima Yadakwari, the secretary of the Sodo Farmers Association of Yadakwari, experienced farmer, emphasizes the lack of government intervention for women farmers, despite their active involvement in local agricultural organizations, stressing the need for equal opportunities and support to thrive in the sector. I remember attending a seminar organized for all Garimala local government farmers. The chairman of our local government, the ward head, and other stakeholders were present. During the seminar, they lamented the lack of women farmers organizations in the local government. I stood up and explained that we did have organizations and showed them our register. However, at the end of the seminar, only the men received tractors, pesticide machines, watering machines, fertilizers, and everything else. We the women were given nothing. To me, it seems like a result of godfatherism, as the government is aware of our presence during elections when they promise to improve the lives of women and children. Yet, this is the reality of what's happening. She also highlighted instances where women were marginalized and overlooked when it came to receiving interventions within the community. We often feel left out and unnoticed when it comes to receiving any kind of assistance. It seems like they are not aware of our existence. If any help is provided, it's usually only given to men and they keep it to themselves. We are excluded from everything, including workshops, seminars, and training sessions. We have no information about when these activities take place. We always hope that our turn will come, but it seems like it's not happening anytime soon. Additionally, when it comes to government support, we have never received any financial assistance or family relief programs. We have never ever received a small amount of fertilizer. This is the reality of our situation. The stories shared by Hama Hatima and Hajiya Hawa shed light on the urgent need for gender equality and fair opportunities for women farmers. By providing them with equal access to resources and support, their potential and drive sustainable development in Nigeria's agricultural sector can be unlocked. Rahima Shehu Dokaji.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Fighting to survive amidst economic crisis, Funtua textile industry's fate hangs in the balance. We'll bring you insight and details of this story and more to come after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. But if you're just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that Zamfara community is gripped by fear amid looming lead poisoning pandemic. Plus, compensation demanded by family of man fatally shot by police stray bullets during protests in Niger State. And now moving on to more stories. The Kano State Hisba Board has seized 8,600 bottles of beer from a van traveling from Kaduna to Kano. According to Idris Ibrahim, the board's officer in charge of intoxicants, the alcoholic drinks were confiscated last Thursday at Kwanar Dangora village along Kano-Kaduna Expressway. Meanwhile, the board also arrested 15 young women accused of engaging in prostitution in various parts of Kano City. Deputy Commander General Mujahid Aminuddin confirmed the arrest, noting that some of the suspects had been previously apprehended and charged to court for the same offense. Aminuddin highlighted concerns about drug abuse among the arrested individuals, affecting their appearance and mental stability. Intending pilgrims for 2024 Hajj from Osun State have been charged to imbibe acceptable conducts that will enable them achieve a rewarding Hajj exercise. They received the charge during an interactive session with the Osun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board. Hamido Yegbade files in this report.
The thrust of the interactive session between the intending pilgrims from Osun State and members of the Osun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board centered on ensuring acceptable conduct before and during the Hajj operation. The intending pilgrims said the pilgrimage to the Holy Land would afford them the opportunity to worship Allah and pray for their families, Osun State and Nigeria.
We thank God for this opportunity. We're praying for Hajj to worship Allah and pray for our children, our relations, our state, and our country. We also appreciate the efforts of our governor for making the Hajj operation smooth. We appreciate him. May God help him.
The preparation so far starts from having to see that the whole money is paid in full as directed by the board. Secondly, keep oneself in the right frame of mind as to the fact that what we are going there to do is for the purpose of serving the Almighty Allah, nothing more.
The chairman of the Osun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Maruf Ishola, advised the intending pilgrims to refrain from any act capable of violating their Hajj rights.
The Hajj operation links sacrifice. Everything based on sacrifice. We are going there to serve Allah, to worship Allah, not for modern materials. So therefore, I want everybody, the issue I want to buy clothes, I want to buy credit, even I want to buy anything, leave it to the end of the operation. After you have done your Arafah, then you can go and do anything. Before the Arafah, make yourself available in mosque, reciting the Holy Quran, whatever anything that you can make it closer to Almighty Allah, they have to do it. That's what I employ all the intending pilgrims from the Osun State to do.
To prepare the ground for our pilgrims from Osun State. If you see the house that the Osun pilgrims will live, very close, about 700 meters to Aram. Their food, the food that they will eat, we've organized, in fact, we need to thank our governor because he has subsidized so many things.
The pilgrimage to Mecca for Hajj is the fifth pillar of Islam, and it's mandatory for all Muslims who can afford it and fit for the Hajj exercise. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
And now to the south part of the country. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Pathfinder has uncovered 15 illegal refining camps in Bokokiri K Community, Degema local government area of Rivers State. Each camp consists of 6 refineries with a combined capacity to refine 2.7 million liters of crude oil. In dismantling these illegal refineries, Commodore Desmond Igbo, the naval commander of NNS Pathfinder, revealed that each camp is equipped with 6 cooking pots and ovens containing over 33,000 liters of crude oil products. The report.
Conducting journalists on the discovery operation, Commander Igwe explained that the illegal oil refineries and economic saboteurs clandestinely chose the location deep inside the creeks using pipes to siphon crude oil from wellheads to some kilometers inside the mangrove swamps where they cannot be spotted easily. Ambias. He added that the operation was part of the Operation Delta Sanity, an onslaught on economic saboteurs in accordance with the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Gala's directives to ensure all theft is brought to the barest minimum.
In pursuance of Chief of Naval Staff and crude oil theft mandate he gave us, that we must ensure that the theft of Nigerian oil must be reduced to barest minimum. This is not our first time. We've been doing it both day and night. And after here, we have other places. We are going to go to those areas and also ensure that they do not continue in this illicit business.
The NSS boss further said, apart from using kinetic approach to dissuade oil thefts, the NAV was also using non-kinetic approach, explaining that he had engaged community stakeholders and conducted sanitization to educate community members on the implications of economic sabotage.
We have started the community engagement And they have promised us that they would, in their own capacity, help us, because we believe the people that do this are their youths who live in their community. So we're not only doing kinetic, we also have other means, dialogue and sensitization of the youths and the community leaders, opinion leaders, even the women, because most times women talk. When they talk, their children will listen. Apart from degrading this environment, it's also an economic sabotage.
Commodore Desmond Igbo emphasized that the Navy particularly is readily available to collaborate with the community to ensure that facilities are well protected in line with the Chief of Naval Staff strategic directives.
And on to political matters. The All Progressives Congress has cleared all 12 aspirants vying for its ticket in the upcoming Edo State governorship election. Each aspirant purchased and submitted their forms priced at 50 million naira each. The aspirants include Clem Agba, Monde Ekpegbolo, Lucky Maswin, Anamero Dekori, Osage Izeyamu, Gideon Ihine, retired Colonel David Imuse, retired General Charles Ihege, Osumbo Blessing, Agbomere, Dennis Idahosa, and Enes Afolabi Umahie. Campaigns are set to begin on April 24, as outlined in the APC's schedule of activities for the election. The party's national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, affirmed the party's commitment to conducting free, fair, and credible governorship primaries for the aspirants. Factional spokesperson of the Labour Party, Abayomi Arabambi, is urging the government to initiate a thorough investigation into foreign transactions associated with the Labour Party accounts, expressing concern that they were allegedly being utilized to fuel destabilization efforts, violence, among others. The spokesperson of the Arabambi-led faction during the briefing presented what he claimed to be evidence of financial transactions that, according to him, pointed to the misuse of party funds for activities contrary to the party's objectives. He emphasized the urgency of addressing the issue to maintain the integrity of the political process and ensure the adherence to democratic principles.
Hunger is on the land we all know. Recent revelation such as EFCC declaring Mrs. Emefiele and 3 others wanted for allegedly conspiring with Mrs. Emefiele concerning whose sum of money belongs to the federal government is condemnable. And one other disclosure also about a former deputy governor of Federal Bank who we were told took $300 million of Nigerian money to buy shares for some person in Polaris Bank, Titan Bank, and Union Bank. We are aware that the DSL was interested and other issue in how the money was raised by the Titan Bank to acquire Union Bank, which has become effected. Also, some churches were accused by the CBN private investigator, Mr. Jim Obaze, of sponsoring ring terrorism to the tune of 30 billion. Are we going to continue like this? The former Accountant General, who was accused of stealing 100 billion, has his matter in court back and forth, and nobody knows what is going to happen. Urgent attention is therefore needed to avert further escalation.
The conundrum of the Labour Party factions right there. As the harsh economic predicaments continue to hit harder on Nigerians, few textile industries that remain afloat may be forced to fold up if nothing is done to salvage the sector. Funtua textile industry is one of the few struggling to withstand the pressures, despite the fact that chances of its survival are minimal considering the realities on the ground. Abdullahi Yamadi visited Funtua textile industry recently and has this for Trust TV News.
The textile industries have been battling to survive the difficult business environment occasioned by fuel subsidy removal high inflation and the ever-increasing exchange rates in the country. The chances of surviving the epileptic power supply, high cost of raw materials occasioned by uncontrolled inflation and exchange rates, as well as inconsistent government policies, are some of the factors pushing this industry to the brink. The reality is that Funtua textile industry has never for one stopped production since its establishment in 1978, pushing hard to leverage its available resources to survive. But like many other industries in Nigeria, it is currently struggling to strike a balance.
The governor now is setting up a stage where the real cotton farming will be back in Kaduna State. We had a meeting about last month with him and some NGOs, and he agreed the government is ready to supply good seed. The generics should take over the enlightenment of farmers so that they will stop adulterating the seed.
The mill runs a variety of services comprising ginnery, spinning, weaving, and finishing facilities besides engaging in the production of cotton-blended goods, bed sheets, pillowcases, and polyester, among others. One thing that is unique about Funtua Textile Plant is its capacity of sustaining 1.2 million yards per month, despite insecurity, inadequate funding, and harsh economic realities.
By the end of this year, when the season starts, we're going to start seeing improvement on cotton production in Kaduna State.
Though the industry was known for producing goods for exports to countries like America and other countries as well as for local consumption, it now relies heavily on local consumers for its products and services. However, in spite of all efforts to strike a balance between where it aimed to be and the current realities, the plant has 650 staff from 3,500 it used to have few years ago, but the management is reassuring that it neither have a plan to close down nor downsize its workforce, no matter the difficulty. Beyond that, Kaduna residents acknowledged the availability and affordability of textile materials from Funtua Textile, locally known as Funtua, in the market, but not without some challenges.
We buy it from Kano. The quality of material, Funtua textile materials, yes, the quality is good.
Though at the moment, the textile industry sources its raw materials, especially cotton, from Katsina, Gombe, and Jigawa states, experts recommend revival of cotton boards in the country to regulate the market and at least to ensure quality control. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, has voiced grave concerns regarding the disregard and non-compliance with safety standards and regulations exhibited by certain public and private institutions across Nigeria. Addressing the audience in Abuja during the inauguration of the 10th House Committee on Safety Standards and Regulations and the formal launch of its strategic document, the Speaker underscored the fundamental right of citizens to a safe and hazard-free workplace, a principle universally recognized in human rights declarations. Represented by Deputy Speaker Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Abbas acknowledged the challenge of translating this principle into reality, noting the formidable task of identifying, eliminating, and controlling hazards effectively. Expressing dismay over the persistent disregard for existing safety standards and regulations, despite efforts from government bodies, institutions, NGOs, and safety advocates, the Speaker highlighted the dire consequences of unsafe practices, leading to catastrophic incidents such as fatal motor accidents, explosions, boat mishaps, accidental discharge, and market fires.
Safety must be applied, especially
when all of us believes in the saying that goes, charity begins at home. Are we truly safe in this complex? Are we actually following the safety standard allowed by international best practices? If not, let the charity of this committee start at home. I've seen your needs analysis, your SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. And I'm actually in sync. Our views as leadership is in sync with those analyses.
You're still watching the News Hour on Trust TV. We'll return shortly. Welcome back. The United Kingdom Minister for Business and Trade, Kemi Badenoch, has embarked on a 3-day visit to Nigeria aimed at strengthening the partnership between the UK and Nigeria. Ndidi Amaka Eze, the Senior Press and Public Affairs Officer at the UK High Commission in Nigeria, confirmed this in a statement on Sunday, following the recent UK-Nigeria security and defense talks and the former Foreign Secretary's visit to Nigeria in August 2023. Minister Badenoch's visit seeks to advance efforts to enhance the UK-Nigeria trade relationship and foster new investment opportunities. During her stay, Minister Badenoch, accompanied by the Prime Minister's trade envoy to Nigeria, Helen Grant, will engage with the federal government of Nigeria, state governors, as well as British and Nigerian business leaders and investors. Discussions will revolve around various sectors, including education, infrastructure, and energy projects, with a focus on generating employment opportunities. The statement emphasized Minister Badenoch's commitment to bolstering the UK-Nigeria partnership, eliminating trade barriers, and promoting business growth between the two nations. Additionally, efforts will be made to make the City of London's facilitating role for international business more accessible to Nigeria. We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Israel is facing growing international warnings over its planned offensive in Rafah, the city in southern Gaza, crammed with Palestinian refugees. UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron said over half of Gaza's population are sheltering in the area, while Dutch Foreign Minister Hanke Bruins Slot said there could be many civilian casualties. Similarly, Saudi Arabia warned of very serious repercussions in Rafah if Rafah was stormed. Gaza's Hamas rulers said there could be tens of thousands of casualties. Israel launched its operations in the Palestinian enclave after more than 1,200 people were killed in southern Israel on 7th October by Hamas gunmen. More than 27,900 people have been killed and at least 67,000 injured in Gaza since then, according to Hamas-run Health Ministry. Saturday's warnings came a day after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered his military to prepare to evacuate civilians from the city ahead of an expanded offensive against Hamas. The Prime Minister also rejected Hamas's latest proposed ceasefire terms. The U.S. has already warned Israel that an invasion of Rafah as part of its assault on Gaza would be a disaster, while the EU and the UN both expressed their own concerns. Aid groups say it is not possible to evacuate everyone from the city on the border with Egypt. Some 1.5 million Palestinians are believed to be in Rafah, seeking refuge from Israeli combat operations in the rest of the Gaza Strip. Most of them are living in tents. Still on the foreign scene, Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility for an attack in Somalia that resulted in the deaths of at least 5 people, including Emirati troops and a Bahraini military officer. The attack targeted a training mission at the General Gordon military base in Mogadishu. Details about the attack and casualties remain limited, but Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed expressed condolences to the UAE. The UAE's Ministry of Defense confirmed the death of 3 of its troops and a Bahraini soldier in what they described as a terrorist attack. Anwar Gargash, a senior Emirati diplomat, offered condolences and reaffirmed the commitment to combat extremism and terrorism. Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-linked group, claimed responsibility for the attack, criticizing the UAE for its support of the Somali government. Despite previous losses of territory, Al-Shabaab continues to pose a threat, aiming to establish its interpretation of Islamic law in Somalia. In sports, the Nigerian Cardiac Society has warned Nigerians to be very vigilant about their cardiovascular health and avoid sports and other emotional events that can trigger arrhythmias, heart attacks, and stroke in those with underlying heart conditions. According to a statement issued by the NCS president, Professor Augustine Odili, the warning is coming as a result of the several reported cases of sudden death among Nigerians, both at home and abroad, directly or indirectly, linked with the surge of emotions associated with the Nigeria-South African march during the ongoing African Cup of Nations 2023 competition holding in Côte d'Ivoire. He emphasized that many cardiovascular risk factors are without symptoms and signs, noting that screening is the only effective mechanism for early identification as appropriate control and prevention of sudden death among the populace. He therefore advised those with heart disease to take medications as prescribed and follow their doctor's advice and avoid getting overly excited during games and take breaks as needed. Still in sports, at the Ado Bayero Dambe Arena in Kano, the second fight season of the Dambe Warriors League is currently underway, capturing the attention of enthusiasts and long-term fans across the country. The improved welfare of the fighters and advancements in this organization of this cherished traditional sport are hailed as victories for the fighters and sources of joy for northern Nigeria. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim has more.
This may resemble celebration, but it is more than that. It's the jubilation of Dambe fighters, once overlooked, gearing up for the highly anticipated Kano leg of the Dambe Warriors League.
As I'm about to enter the arena for the second leg of the Dambe Warriors League, I'm happy to be here because and I hope that everything goes well and I can be victorious just like the last time.
Kano is going to be a make or break that will determine those on the ranking board. As you can see, as we go to any location, they get winnings and losses, and as they win, they get 1 point. They lose 0 points. There's no draw. At the end of the day, they have some people like Zayan, who has three wins. Ramadan has 3 wins. Alika Bello too has about 3 wins. Because the winners will ascend, the losers will descend. That's the structure of the league.
The Dambe Warriors League is leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of traditional sports, forging a new era for Dambe fighters and sports enthusiasts.
So, right now, Dambe Warriors have put them on a salary, right? And appearance fees, bonuses. In fact, those that will get to the finals, automatically they get 500,000 naira. Some of them at the end of the season get as much as 3.5 million, 3.2 million within a 3-month period. Looking at this as against the backdrop of what used to be in the past, where some of them, they fight, at the end of the day, they get 200 naira, 500 naira, 1,000 naira. Now they are earning for their talent.
Dambe Warriors have catered for us and has helped us more than you know. Because the Warriors have paid us and elevated us. If not for Dambe Warriors, many of us would have become bad people. And Dambe Warriors has brought us support and has made us rich.
The advancement in the fighters' well-being stands as a testament of the transformative power of sports. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
And that concludes the News Hour on Trust TV. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time.